Hi everyone, and welcome back to the POTSpective. Since it's POTS Awareness Month, I wanted to take some time to talk about what POTS actually is, what living with it can look like, and why awareness matters so much. Or had your heart race just from standing up, and then had people tell you that it's just anxiety? This episode might sound familiar. I'll be sharing some facts, my own experiences, and tips for managing symptoms in daily life. Whether you're someone with POTS, supporting a loved one, or just curious, thank you for listening and helping to spread awareness. So, let's get into it. So, I'm just going to get into what the definition for POTS is. So POTS stands for Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia syndrome. It's a type of dysnomia, meaning it affects the autonomic nervous system and the system that controls things that we do not usually think about, so like heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, and even breathing. So when someone with POTS stands up, blood doesn't flow properly back to the heart and the brain. And so due to this malfunction, the heart races to try to compensate, which causes dizziness, lightheadedness, and sometimes fainting. And a lot of people think that POTS is rare, but POTS is not rare. POTS impacts an estimated 3 million to 6 million Americans. 80 to 85% of them are female. There can be many more because POTS is often misdiagnosed. At first, when I was trying to figure out what was going on with me, they originally told me that it was anxiety because I was starting my freshman year of college, and obviously that's a lot of different than high school or middle school or elementary, and they just kept telling me that it was anxiety until I went to another doctor and they referred me to a cardiologist, which is when I got diagnosed. And it took a very long time, and I tried fighting these symptoms 3 years prior to getting diagnosed, because I feel like I felt like that dizziness or unsteadiness my whole entire life, but it was just got really intense my high school years, I guess I could say. And so misdiagnosed was very frustrating because I knew that it wasn't anxiety. I felt that it was not anxiety. And people kept telling me, yeah, you might not feel that it was anxiety, but it can be. And I was like, no, I know myself. And this is not anxiety. And that's one thing I do want to share with you guys. If you are getting told that and you know that it's not anxiety, believe yourself. Don't believe others. Because I was starting to believe others and not myself, and I regret that 100% because they were all wrong and I was right. I just want to also go into some common symptoms that go into having POTS. There's a lot more, but these are the ones that are more common. So I'm going to start off with one of the most common. It's dizziness or lightheadedness. This happens especially after standing up or sitting up too fast. I am a dancer, and sometimes when I do that way too fast, I do feel it sometimes. Sometimes I don't. Majority of the times I don't, but sometimes I do. And then another most common symptom is rapid heartbeat, tachycardia. It's when your heart rate can jump 30 plus beats per minute when standing when you have POTS. So even from I'm sitting in a chair right now, if I stand up right away, a lot of the times I can feel my head getting lightheaded and my heart beating out of my chest. And I want to say this next one is a big one for me, which is fatigue. Even small tasks can be exhausting. It honestly depends on the weather too. I feel like it wasn't scientifically proven, but I just feel like on days that it's more rainy, my symptoms are worse and I'm a lot more tired because I was But yesterday it was raining and I was trying to lift some heavy boxes into the attic, and my arms were feeling like really jelly-like, and I was very weak. I was very tired as well. And then brain fog is also another big one. So like trouble focusing or remembering things. A couple of nights ago, I was getting something to drink and I had a 100% brain fog moment, and I just left it all on the counter. And then when I woke up in the morning, it was still there. I was like, oh, I forgot to get myself something to drink. And that happens a lot when you have POTS, brain fog. And so like sometimes I can even be talking to somebody and then just lose my train of thought because of the brain fog. I've been feeling this symptom more recently, which is nausea, especially in the morning or after standing too long, because I have early morning classes, and a lot of the times in the morning I get so nauseous, like really, really nauseous. And if I'm walking around or in a store or something, I get really nauseous. You can also get headaches or chest pain due to the circulation and the blood pressure changes. Sometimes you might wake up with a headache, or you could fall asleep with a headache. Another one that I think is a big one for me, at least, is temperature issues, which is like feeling too hot or too cold easily. That happens to me a lot, especially during the winter time, because it's cold it's like cold outside, and then when you go like say inside to a restaurant or a store, it's hot, and that change in temperature bothers me a lot. And so I was at a store the other day and it was cold outside, but it was warm inside, and that little temperature change, I got super hot super quickly that I needed to step outside because it was so hot for me. But symptoms can vary from person to person, and some days are better than others. Like, I don't have all of these symptoms every day. Sometimes I do, which is one of those times where I just sit and relax for the day. And there are other days that I don't have many of these and I just have maybe a little headache or a little lightheadedness. And then I want to go into why POTS is misunderstood. It's misunderstood because symptoms overlap with anxiety or dehydration, and it's often misdiagnosed, like I mentioned before. People may hear it's all in your head when it's actually a nervous system disorder. And so awareness helps shorten the average time of diagnosis, which can currently take years for many patients. Like I told you in my story, it took me almost 5 years. I also want to tell you guys how POTS affects daily life. So simple activities like showering, cooking, or standing in a line can trigger symptoms. Managing POTS means learning to pace yourself and listen to your body. Good days and bad days can look very different, and that's okay. Using aids like compression socks, abdominal braces, or salty snacks can make a huge difference. I also want to tell you or give you some tips of how to manage POTS. So like some treatment or self-care tips that you can try. So there is no cure. Just want to make that clear. There's no cure, but management helps. Hydration, lots of fluids daily. Electrolytes are helpful. I use Element. Salt boosts blood volume and helps prevent the dizziness. Compression gear keeps blood from pooling in the legs. Exercise, I would say start small with a seated exercise or maybe exercise in your bed. And then the workouts can help train the body to tolerate upright activity, which is what happened to me because I danced most of my life. I can't deal with laying flat. I have to stand up. Like, I can't lay flat. And then also smaller meals. Large meals can worsen symptoms. So if you have like a big lunch, a big breakfast, and a big dinner, I know that was out of order, it can make your symptoms worse. And so instead of that, do one small breakfast, small snack, small lunch, small snack, small dinner. And then if you feel like it, a little dessert, because sometimes sugar can also bother symptoms. And then I think that this is the most important, and I didn't listen to myself at first, which is rest. Listen to your body and pace yourself throughout the day, because if not, you will crash, because I have crashed. and it is not fun. You might be asking, why does awareness matter? Well, over 1 to 3 million Americans live with POTS, but many still go undiagnosed. Awareness helps people recognize symptoms earlier, get support, and push for better research and treatment. Sharing information, even one post, can help someone finally find answers. Thank you so much for listening to this POTS Awareness Month episode of the POTSpective. If you learned something new today, or if this episode reminds you that you're not alone, please share it with a friend or post about it to help spread awareness. This month, I'll be sharing 8 Instagram posts with more POTS facts, tips, and daily life insights, so be sure to follow along there too. Living with POTS isn't easy, but awareness brings understanding, community, and hope. Together, we can make the invisible visible. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, your heartbeat counts.